I'm Coach Micheal Burt, and I've spent the last 28 years of my life activating the prey drive in people, first as a championship women's basketball coach and now a top business coach to some of the best performers in the world. I've learned the game, how to generate revenue, how to explain your services, how to follow up correctly, how to extract referrals, how to become a person of interest. All of this leads to new income for you, accelerated growth, and in essence, I activate the prey drive in you, that instinct to see something optically with the eyes or in the mind and have the guts and persistence to pursue it. Join me for a full day activating your drive, flipping your switch, teaching you how to become a monster producer, and that's a legendary creature that dominates the market. Hello, folks. Hope you're doing great. Saturday, Coach Micheal Burt. We're going to let some folks jump on. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I'm actually at a couples retreat down in Florida, and you know me, if I can stack events on top of each other and help more people, then that's what I'm going to do. So I literally just finished coaching downstairs on a 3-hour session. We did with couples yesterday. I did a real estate event over in Destin with Chris Rude, and I said, man, I got to go spend some time. I got to go spend some time with my folks who signed up for the webinar on how to fight off complacency, how to set bigger targets. So we had 136 people register for this today. If you want to give a shout out to where you are and where you're from, I would love to hear from you. If you want to type in, who are you? Where are you from? What do you want to get out of today? Chris, good to see you, big guy. Love your energy too. Catherine Bass, look at all these folks on here that I know. Carol Brady. Okay, we're going Dwight. Scottsdale, love it. Shay, Lori Stye, Jacksonville, Florida, Rockville. Look at all them folks. Norbert, there's my man. Phoenix, Arizona. Sharon, Baton Rouge, Jackson, Mississippi. Man, that does my heart good, guys. Madison, Alabama, Kings Mountain, North Carolina. Nice. Good. So if you're jumping on with us today, guys, I'm Coach Burt. Thank you, Joseph from Indiana. I am down at my house in Florida, Seaside, Florida. What's up, Sean Vernon? Okay, good. Guarantee Home Mortgage, Henderson, Texas. Man, we got some great folks on here. So as you jump on, if you just want to let me know who you are and where you're from, that'd be great. I love seeing everybody. As I said, Troy Parker, Minnesota. I'm at my house down in Seaside, Florida, which is up in the Panhandle. And we have a couples retreat going on. I do lots of retreats down here. So we've got about 15 to 20 couples. I just finished a session on intentional congruence. Melanie from Nashville. I just finished a session on intentional congruence and how to build your business around what you love doing, what you're good at doing, and what's highly profitable. If you could wake up every day and do what you love and what you're good at, and it's both highly enjoyable and highly profitable, why wouldn't you do it? Well, we don't think about doing that. We think about going down a path and getting a job and doing something that we don't like and doing it for X number of years. We don't think about building a business around our talents. We don't think about building a business, Tom Jones in New Orleans, around our unique abilities. So what I'm teaching the couples down here is really how to live a monster life, how to have this intentionally congruent life. And that's going to play into what we're talking about today. Because as you know, I'm doing this big boot camp next Thursday called Flip the Switch, how to activate your prey drive and how to become a monster producer. Well, a monster producer, which is my coaching program, when I define that program, a monster is a legendary creature. You want to live a legendary life. You want to go to legendary places. You want to hang around legendary people. You want to do legendary things. You want to perform at legendary levels. You don't want to live a common life. And that's really the enemy of what we're going to be talking about today in how to fight off complacency. Okay. How to fight off complacency, Dwight? How do we set bigger targets in life? How do we never allow ourselves to contract when we get scared to a place of comfort? Okay. If you look up the word complacency, it is a gradual settling to a place of mediocrity. Now, there ain't a person in the world that when they were growing up as kids said, man, one of these days when I grow up, I just want to gradually settle to a place of mediocrity. We don't send any of our kids off to school in the morning and go, hey, I want you to gradually settle to a place of mediocrity today. I want you to just go be average. I want you to just get real comfortable and real contented and real satisfied with everything and never want anything more, never want anything bigger. But this is what America has become. We all allow ourselves to become comfortable. I had allowed myself to become comfortable in my weight, in my health, which is why I was 191 in November of last year. I was speaking at a conference in Mexico and they wanted me to come outside by the pool. And I didn't want to go outside. I didn't feel like I looked good. So I got serious. I went pro in my health. I lost 30 pounds. I got in the best shape of my life. I bought 50% of a gym. I said, man, I ain't being complacent in my health anymore. I'm tired of being like this. Okay. Sometimes you got to have a breakdown to have a breakthrough. So today on this webinar, we're going to talk about one of my favorite things, which is how to set big targets, how to fight off complacency. And I want to redefine this concept of complacency because I can't tell you how many people I see say, man, I'm good. I'm making a little bit of money. I got a good house. I got a good life. I got good kids. I got a good marriage. Folks, the enemy of great. The enemy of great is good. I didn't want a good basketball team. I wanted the best basketball team. I didn't want to be a good coach. I wanted to be the best coach. I didn't want to make $1 million. I wanted to make $20 million. So we have to sometimes confront what I would consider is a false positive. And a false positive is why would I want to do those things? It seems like a lot of work to grow and get better. I want to be comfortable. Well, we're never going to do anything big in the world being comfortable. Like I chose this background on the webinar today. That's me speaking, right, to 10,000 people at Mandalay Bay. I didn't get on that stage by being comfortable. I got on that stage by being hungry. I don't close coaching deals because I'm comfortable. I close them because I'm hungry. Okay. And I got to get you out of that complacent dormancy that you have. I got to get out of that complacency and go, no, we can do more. So I'm going to talk about that today, Gabby Garrett. How is our publishing division doing 3 books a day, every day, not 3 a week? How are we expanding during a period of contraction in the world? How are we expanding when people are scared to death of what's going to happen in the election? How do I just keep going, man? So I want to thank you, number one, for joining me. 136 people signed up for the webinar today. Thank you for doing this. I know we're doing it on a Saturday. I know it's football in the South for some of you. It's a big football fan. So thank you for going back and watching this later. I appreciate you being here with me. I'm going to give you the best I can for 45 minutes on how this, on the purpose of the webinar, which is how do you fight off complacency? We're susceptible to it, right? We're susceptible to blaming. We're susceptible to excuses. We're susceptible to allowing ourselves to a place of comfort. Our natural tendency is to contract to a place of comfort. That is human nature. Go back and study in the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve. When they took a bite of the apple, they blamed each other. Hey, the woman made me do it. No, the man let me do it. Right? Like this is our human nature. So I want you to write this down. Okay, I want you to write this cycle down. We start with good intentions, which means we get excited. Yesterday I spoke, 13 people said they wanted to sign up for my coaching program. We'll see how many actually sign up because yesterday they were excited. They started with good intention. They walked right up to me. Here's my number. I'd like to do it. Here's the offer. Okay. I can get the coaching program for 1 year for $997. This is what you can get today if you take action. Out of the 13, how many do you think will take action? No matter how excited they were, they get excited. Second step is they fall off the wagon. They contract to a place of comfort. I want to do it, but it's going to require effort. I want to do it, but I'd have to get on those calls with Coach Burt. I want to do it, but I don't know if I can make the time work. Like there's all these excuses. Excuse is a self-proclaimed opt-out, folks. That's all it is. It's just a self-proclaimed opt-out clause. Now, when you think about this and you think about this concept, I'm going to see if I can share this on Facebook while we're here. And you think about this concept of why we start with good intention and why do we fall off the wagon, and then we experience guilt. We experience guilt, and guilt is associated with grief. So just out of curiosity, what are we grieving? What are we grieving? I'm going to share this on Facebook right now with Coach Burt. How to fight off complacency. What are we experiencing guilt for, guys? Type it in the comments. What is the guilt associated with? In my opinion, the guilt is associated with grief. What are we grieving? What are we grieving when we start with good intention and fail to follow through, and then we experience guilt? Okay, just type in the comments what you think, because to me, this is the cycle, right? This is the cycle that we live in. Failure. What if I told you this? Fear, which is an unpleasant emotion created by a belief that something's going to harm me in the future. Let me tell you the real thing we're grieving. When you live a complacent life, you're grieving your lost potential. We're grieving what we were capable of becoming, but we did not do it, right? Missed opportunities. That's right, Lauren. Loss of potential. Paul Steenberg. Here's the deal, folks. At the end of your life, there's a book called The 5 Regrets of the Dying. And it's, I live my life for other people. I never became what I was capable of becoming. Here's a regret I don't want to have, man. I was capable of, I could have, I should have, I was capable of, but dadgummit, I didn't. Why? Because I was complacent. Imagine getting to the end of your life and saying, man, you could have done all these things, but you were complacent. What does complacency mean? Gradual settling to a place of mediocrity. Okay. So there's 2 types of complacency. One is false positive. If you're taking notes, write this down. False positive is, I think I'm good. Therefore, don't ask me to push harder. Don't ask me to grow. Don't ask me to go to a course. Don't ask me to watch something online. Don't ask me to go to a retreat. Don't ask me to do anything that would require effort on my part to grow, because I'm good, man. It's false positive. False positive is you're not good. There is another gear. There are more people to help. See, it's selfish to think that. See, I could say, man, I live a good life. I want to do X number of retreats. I only want to help so many people, because to help more people, it require more effort. I don't want my wife to be inconvenienced or my kids. I'm good. Selfish, man. It's a selfish way to look at life. If you have talent and you don't use the talent to help other people, you're being selfish. Okay. Your desire to help people has got to overcome your desire to be comfortable. Can everybody give me an amen on that one? Your desire to help people has got to overcome your desire to be comfortable. When my wife wrote her book, Living with the Monster, how do you live with an obsessed person? She was scared to death to write it. And I said to her, your desire to help people has got to be greater than your desire to be comfortable. The comfortable thing to do is you don't write the book. The comfortable thing to do is you be in the shadows. The comfortable thing to do is you don't help women like you could help. The comfortable thing for you to do is just keep doing what you're doing. That is comfortable, but you got to get uncomfortable. You got to work the muscle. You got to get in the game. You got to write the book. You got to do the retreat. You got to coach the women. You got to share your message. You got to start our coaching division. Like, it's going to be incredibly inconvenient, folks. It's going to be incredibly inconvenient for you to go to this level. So I can't grab a hold of my future, Lori Stye, while simultaneously holding on to my past. My past says just do what's comfortable. My future saying no, stretch, dream, strive, push, grow, get better. I can't have it both ways. I can't have it. And that's really what I've been saying to people is you can't have it both ways. You can't say, man, I want to do big things in the world, but I only want to do things that are comfortable to me. I only want to do things when it's convenient to me. I only want to look, I don't want to work on Saturday nights and then in the morning. I want this little comfortable life with the white picket fence and the little house, and I'm going to be good. Okay. Here's what I'll tell you. You were made for so much more than that. Most of my life is inconvenience. Most of the things I do is inconvenient. What I really like to be doing is being down here at my house, vacationing, hanging out, doing nothing. But what have I chose to do? Open it up to 15 couples. Include my wife. Both of my kids are down here. Why? Because my purpose is to help as many people as I can. And my purpose, don't miss this, overrides my comfort. My purpose is greater than my comfort. Okay. Do you want to do a webinar at noon on Saturday, right in the middle of another event? No, but my purpose is to help as many people as I can. And the purpose overrides the comfort. Your desire to help people has got to overcome your desire to be comfortable. Okay. I spent 4 years in the prison system, rehabilitating maximum security offenders, prisoners, people that had committed terrible crimes on society. 98% of those people will get out of prison. You think I wanted to go into a maximum security prison system and spend all day trying to help people right in those environments, man, I felt like, hey, it's part of my purpose. It's one of the most rewarding things I ever did, by the way. So I want to ask you some questions. How many of you figured out? And that's a great question, Chris. I'm going to come back to that question. How many of you are on here watching this today, and you know you've allowed yourself to get into a comfortable or complacent state? You know you were made for more. That's question number one. How many of you know that there's another gear for you to find that you just haven't found, or your spouse hasn't found yet, or your partner or whatever hasn't found yet? How many of you believe that good is the enemy of great? You don't want to live a great life, a good life. You want to live a great life. You don't want to live an ordinary life. You want to live an extraordinary life. Okay. So why do we contract? Right? Like that's what I'm going to teach you today. I'm going to give you 3 secrets that I use to never contract. Because human nature, and I've studied this at a very high level, human nature is when you get comfortable, you move to a place of comfort. You move to a place of contraction. And what happens is we get in patterns. We're creatures of habit. So we go along about our life, and we like to work from this time to this time. We like to go home. We like to watch a certain television show. We like to go to bed, and we become comfortable. If we don't break that pattern and say, you know what, I'm not allowing myself to get in a comfortable mindset. So this is really why you came today. I want to give you 3 secrets that I use of getting out of a comfort state into an accelerated state in life. Okay. And if you're watching this, I want to encourage you, stick around to the end. I'm going to be talking about the boot camp I'm doing next Thursday, full day with me. Because once I get your prey drive activated, I got to teach you something. I got to give you the system to grow, because I know authors that write books that don't know how to sell them. I know speakers that want to speak that can't get on a stage. I know artists that can't get paid for their work. I know coaches that don't know how to make money. I know business people that don't know how to get a business up. I know direct selling people that don't know how to build a team. It's one thing to activate the prey drive. It's another thing to take the prey drive and monetize the prey drive, which is a big part of what we teach people in our coaching program, to show you how to make money with a talent. Okay. So let me get into 3 secrets that I use to never allow myself to get complacent. Okay. Secret number 1 is I create a game to play. And what I mean by that is when you study the 5 activators of prey drive, what we're trying to do is activate a drive in you to come alive, to want to push force and energy, to build momentum in life. And the way we build that momentum is we need to figure out what is it that activates a drive in you. For me, it's a game to play. It's a competition to win. And so I start out and I make it into a game. How fast can we buy a house on the ocean? How fast can we fly private around the world? How fast can we become the number 1 money earner in this? What I do is when I'm bored, see, at 31 years old, I had won a championship. I was at the peak of my career. I was one of the top coaches in the country, and I was bored. How many of y'all can say, man, I'm bored? Boredom breeds complacency. I'm bored. I'm not working the muscle. I'm not learning anything new right now. I'm stuck in a rut. I'm burned out, whatever phraseology you want to use. At 31 years old, I'm like, man, I'm bored. I've done everything I could do. I've sacrificed 10 or 12 years of my life. I need a new game to play. I need a new game, right? When I go to an area, one of the things I enjoy that my wife don't enjoy as much as me, I enjoy exploring. Let's go find something to get involved in. And if we're not involved in something, let's get involved in something. If we're not committed to something, let's commit to something. Let's commit first and then we'll figure it out. And that scares my wife to death. That keeps me from becoming complacent. COVID, right, hurt my speaking business. You know what I said? Got a new game to play. How do we pick up new money during this period? So I pivoted to starting a publishing division. That division is a division that writes the books for you. If you have a book that you want to write, We help you write the book, get the book out, make it a bestseller on Amazon. That division went from zero to, I don't know, maybe it'll do $500,000 in the first year to $1 million in the first year of that division. Why? Now it's a new game to play, man. If you're out there and you want to write a book and you say, I've always wanted to write a book, I've always wanted to be a person of interest, man, I've written 17 books. It's a game to play. We can help you write the book to position you as a person of interest, to make you known and famous so that you attract people to you versus chase people. Okay. So that publishing division came out of nowhere. It was literally like, boom, COVID hit. I can't speak. The game's changed. See, some people still living in the old game. And the old game is I can't make money because nobody's traveling. I hear this every day, man. It's driving me crazy. Can't do anything and nobody's coming to my little business and because the COVID hit and then blah, 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 blah. Listen, folks, the game is over. That game is over. Part of the reason you don't become complacent because you got a new game to play. See, this is what I loved about being a basketball coach. Every night we played was a new game, new energy, new opponent, new challenge, new something to win. Some of you still trying to play the old game, man. And you're going, well, the rules have changed, folks. So one of the ways you never allow yourself to get comfortable, one of the secrets I play, if I don't have a game to play, a fight to win, something to be involved in, I create a new game to play. How do I win? How do I do this? How do I create something new? There's a new game, folks. Some of y'all still playing the old game and you're trying to figure out why it ain't working. Well, it ain't working. And it ain't working because it stopped working that way. Just because it don't work that way, doesn't mean it can't work a new way, right? What's the new game you're going to play? So secret number one, in my opinion, is you need a new game to play. You need a new game to play. Now, Chris, in our coaching program, asked, how do you find your purpose? I have a different theory than most people. I don't think you sit and find your purpose. I don't think you find your why and then go do something big. I actually think you pursue different things. This is the game. And then you go, oh, I really like that. I love that game. I don't like that game that much. This is where my talents need to be. So although you're down a path, doesn't mean you got to stay down that path. Some of you are going down a path. Like I used to work with high school teachers, guys. They hated teaching. They hated kids. They would stay and teach for 30 years, hating kids and hating teaching. Why? That's the only game they knew how to play. That's what they'd say, Coach. I don't know how to do anything else. Folks, start a new game. So number one, the way I find my purpose, Chris, is I play lots of games. I have figured out I like the real estate game. I like real estate that inspires me in cool places where I can do coaching and it's highly profitable and highly enjoyable. I'm inspired. That's a game to play. This is why I'm so excited about open greatness factories. Greatness factories excite me because it's a new game to play. How do I fill a greatness factory up with energy and people and podcast studios and coaching? And how do I design it and tinker with it? Like Tinkerbell. My daughter's a little tinkerer. She tinkers with things. That's a game to play. So my first secret for me is I'm always got to find a new game to play. And some of you are bored, i.e. complacent, because you've been playing the same game for 30 years. Listen, my granddad was a great man, and he used to teach me that if you eat banana pudding every day for 10 years, you eventually get tired of eating it. Okay? You need a new game. Why does the artist have to write new songs? They get bored singing the same song over and over. So number one, if you were going to create a new game, type in the chat box, or if you're watching me on Facebook, what's the new game you want to play? This is why I appreciate about my buddy Dustin Black. Dustin Black started Black Tie Moving. He became known and famous for the moving industry, but he had a love for country music. He always wanted to be a country music singer. I don't know how old he is, early 40s, 30-something, 40-something years old. The dude just started his country career. And he's got his first song out. Okay? And so I'm like, the dude just sat down and said, man, boom, I want to be a country music singer. To have the guts to do that at 35 or 40 years old after you've been going down the road is so impressive to me, man. He's playing a new game, man. And I respect that. If you're on here and you're saying you want to write a book, I want Gabby Garrett at coachburt.com. She can type her she can type her address in here, GABI@coachburt.com. And if you want to speak or coach or learn the real estate game, I want you to email eric@coachburt.com. Eric, because these are products and retreats that I do that I could teach you how to do this. Marlon Sanders, I like your fire. I told my team you got a lot of energy, man. I see you online buying my stuff, signing up for the coaching online. I told my team, you guys need to jump on Marlon and get in there with him, man. He's doing something. So here's the deal. What's the game, folks? What's the game? My new game is Greatness Factories. I'm so excited about building the first one in Nashville. It's going to be opening up probably by 2021. I can't wait to get in there and design it. It's on the 9th floor of a beautiful building. I'm in talks in Miami with having one, Houston with having one. My first secret is I need a game to play. All right. Secret number 2. And this will surely knock you out of a slumber. When I was 25 years old, I was deeply depressed. I was clinically depressed. I had a terrible breakup, man. I was in a funk. 6 months to a year, just walking around, depressed, in a funk, in a depressed state. Thank goodness somebody came along to me and said, look, you're too talented, man. You're too talented to let one person affect your future. You're too talented to live in the past. You're too talented to let one person knock you down. You're too talented to stop playing the game. So my second secret that I want to give you today on fighting off complacency and building momentum is I want you to set some crazy targets. I want you to commit to things that scare you. Okay. And let me give you an example. We are hardwired to play it safe. The brain has what's called the croc brain, which is scared of everything. It goes all the way back to caveman days. Everything's a threat. Everything scares us. We don't want to overcommit to anything. Here's what I made up my mind. I'm going to commit. I'm going to commit before I have it figured out. I'm going to commit before I have all the details. I'm going to listen to my prey drive, which is an instinctual ability to see something with the eyes or in the mind and have the guts, boom, to go get it. Like, I'm in. I like it. I'm in. We'll figure the details out. Most people, especially perfectionists, wait for all the details to be perfect before they get started. Perfectionism breeds procrastination. So if you're out there and you got to have all the details, like how's it going to work and all these things, I want you to get past that. And I want you to understand, I want you to commit to something that scares you. And I want you to push and exert force and energy toward that. So when I see something that I like, that I think I can make work, I'm like, boom, I'm in. Can we take it? Yes, I'm in. Yeah, like the lodge that I bought in Tennessee that I use now, 8,000 square feet. I walked right into that lodge. It was $1.3 million, which turns out to be a steal. And I walked into that lodge and I looked around for like 10 seconds and I went, we'll take it. And the real estate agent said, don't you want to see the rest of it? I'm like, no, man, I don't need to see anything. I'm in. Draw it up. I'll pay for it. We're good. I don't want nickel and diamond. We don't have to haggle. We don't have to negotiate. Boom. Now I got a payment, $10,000 a month on that lodge. It's all right. Now I'm gonna figure out how to make $40,000 a month, $50,000 a month, $60,000 a month. I commit, right? So one of the reasons we get complacent is your goals are too small. You don't have big enough goals. And because you don't have big enough goals, you don't have any energy or force toward those goals. You don't have anything pulling you toward the future. Like I want to set something in the future and whether I have it figured out or not, and I want to push toward it. There's going to be mistakes. There's going to be breakdowns. There's going to be customer service issues. There's going to be this. See, when I spoke at 10X, when I spoke at this conference right here that you're seeing, that you're seeing right here behind me, man, we signed up like 200 or 300 customers in an hour. We weren't ready to sign up 300 customers in an hour. It shocked our system. And people asked me, well, man, why didn't you have it all? I didn't know. I didn't know we were going to sign up 300 people in an hour. I thought it was going to be great. I thought I was going to speak. I didn't know we was going to sign up 300 people until I signed up 300 people. Boom. I didn't know. So once we did it, it's the best thing ever happened to me. So then I started asking a different question. How do we sign up 500 people in an hour? How do we sign up 10,000 people in an hour? How do we automate it? How do we make it flow? How do we make it work? How do we do it? See, some of you The reason you got into a complacent state and you've allowed yourself to get in complacency is you operate at a turtle's pace with little goals. You hit those goals and you go, I'm good. That's a false positive, man. I know this offends some people that watch me and follow me, but I agree with a lot of big time people. If you're earning 250,000 a year, you're almost broke. You can tell me what you want to tell me. You can argue with me all day long. Something's going to happen in your life where you need a lot of money, or never going to have big goals. You're never going to be able to achieve big goals because there's simply not enough money left over at the end for you to go exert the amount of force and energy. Money is just paper, it's just energy. So I see a lot of people get to a certain level of income and they go, I'm good. I don't need to push any harder. Man, I'm already making 200 or 300,000. Like, what do you want me to do, coach? It tells me one thing. You don't have big goals. Because to do big goals, you're going to need more than that, folks. Let's just get real, okay? Quit living in a false positive world and realize to do big things that require big effort, you need more energy. So the second thing I do to never allow myself to get in a place of comfort is I'm constantly setting new targets. I'm constantly setting new goals. I'm constantly finding something that scares me. Okay. And this is hard for my wife because Natalie is a high S, high C on a DISC profile, which means she's very conscientious. Everything has to be planned out how it's going to work. I'm trying to go. It ain't all going to be planned out, sweetie. Let's get on that plane and let's go. And we'll figure it out on the back end. Now, here's an example. Let's say that there's an opportunity in Memphis, Tennessee, and it's a non-paid opportunity. It's an opportunity that is a showcase event. And I say, we're going to take my plane. It's going to cost $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 to fly over. We're not guaranteed any money. An accountant would look at that and go, man, don't drive over to Memphis. It's 3 or 4 hours. It's not much, right? Because you're not making any money on the front end. No, you got to get in front of the people to make the money. So an accountant would tell you, play it safe. Don't be aggressive. Don't spend the 3,000. It's an expense. I would say, no. Spend the 3,000 to get in front of 50, 100, 200 people to make 30 more thousand. Commit to it first, then do it. Could we lose? You better believe it. But if you bet on you, some of you got to get back to betting on you, man. You've lost faith in yourself. You used to do it and now you've gotten away from doing it. You used to know you could do it and now you're scared to do it. You got to work the muscle. So number 2 secret I use is I set new targets and I set targets that actually scare me and I commit to things before all the details are figured out. Now that drives some people crazy. I have worked with some people and they're like, oh my gosh, this drives me crazy. I would tell you I'm an instinctual being. Good Lord gave me instincts. My instincts tell me when there's an opening. Sometimes I'm wrong, but more times than not, I'm right. See, we're building momentum, man. My agent in New York City said, Coach, you're a freight train of momentum, man. What you've been doing is built a freaking freight train of momentum. And I'm like, that's right. And you know how I built momentum? Commit. Then I figured out. So number 2 secret that I use is I commit to big things that scare me. And then I figure it out. Okay. Number 3, and this is maybe one of the best ones. My number 3 secret on how I avoid complacency. Complacency, gradual settling to a place of mediocrity. Why would we settle? When you study Pray Drive, which is the book I'm writing, 2021, it's coming out 2021. I'm working on a book deal with McGraw-Hill. I've got some other publishers that are interested. When I come out with this book, here's what I'm going to say. Pray Drive is instinct. See it and get it, just like an animal. Boom. What suppresses Pray Drive? Comfort. Why do we have comfort? Because we don't have anything to move toward. You study every motivational theory in the world, folks. Every motivational theory in the world says the same thing. We move toward things we want. Right, Chris? Right, Mark Nolan? Right, Mark Schaefer? Right, Amanda Graham? We move toward things we want. What happens when you don't want anything? What happens when you don't want to get healthier? What happens when you don't want a nicer car? What happens when you don't want to stay at nicer hotels? Folks, I've stayed in some of the crappiest hotels in the world. I've flown on some of the crappiest airplanes. Okay. Like I've done some of the worst things in the world to get where I am today, folks. I don't want those things anymore. I've already played that game. Okay, I've already stayed at the Microtel Hotel and the Clarions and the Best Westerns. I've flown on Southwest all over the world with people sitting on top of me. I know what it feels like. I don't want that anymore. Okay, you have to make up your mind that when you don't want anything, what's happening is that's why you're complacent. Saw a dude yesterday, man, good looking dude. And I'm like, man, the dude just let himself go. Man, he just let himself go. He let his health go. He let his looks go. He let his life go. Why would you do that? Why would you allow yourself? Because your needs are met. I'm comfortable. So when you think about this, you have to understand the reason you become comfortable and complacent is because your needs are met. So the only way to fight through this is I need more wants. I have to have, like, my wants are met, so I'm comfortable. No, no, no. I don't want that anymore. I want this. If this never happens, your prey drive will never be activated. You will simply. How many of you know somebody that lets let themselves go? Path of least resistance. Just let yourself go. They just let themselves go. They look good at one time. They look good at one time. Go back to your high school reunion, folks. Okay, the prettiest girl. Listen, there was a girl I dated in high school, one of the prettiest girls ever, and she, man, she got on drugs. She let herself go. She had all this potential, and it's just like it's so sad to me, man. You just let yourself go. You just become complacent. Now, what's my third secret? Third secret is exposure to big time people, which is why I'm so glad you're with me today. I see Jay Michael, who handles our funnels, on here with me. You know, he's got a new fire and enthusiasm about him. He's around an environment. He is around motivated people. He's being trained by me to come out there and do it at a high level. Exposure is an activator of prey drive. See, when I'm around big time people, that's why I love doing these retreats. Is there's people down there, man, want to do big things in the world. They want to do big things. They're like, hey, coach, I want to do this. And I got a dream of doing this. And man, I want to do this. And I want to do that. But boom, 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 boom. Like, when's the last time you exposed yourself to a big time person? This is Charlie Tremendous Jones used to say this. 5 years from today, folks, will it be the exact same person we are today with the exception of two things, the people we meet and the books that we read. It takes effort to get around big time people. It takes effort to read the books. It takes effort to go to the seminars. It takes effort to come to my retreats and boot camps. It takes effort to write the book. It takes effort, exposure. 2012, I went to a conference in Riviera Maya, Mexico. I took my wife with me. She had never been around big time people like this. And I said, we're going to a conference in Riviera Maya, Mexico called 10X. I'm going to speak at the conference. And I want you to go with me. She was my girlfriend at the time. And she's like, oh, this is going to be awesome. We're going to go down to Riviera Maya, Mexico, and I'm going to sit out by the pool and drink margaritas while you go to the conference. I'm like, no, 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 no. You are going to the conference with me. We are going to the conference together. You are going to be exposed to power couples and the dynamics of power couples and how they perform at a high frequency. And she went to that, folks, changed her whole life. She came back and she's like, oh man, now I see how power couples interact with each other. She was exposed to thinking bigger. You see, some of you, and I've been guilty of this in my life, hang around people that think small, play small, live small, and you can't go big if little got you, folks. You can't go big if little got you. So how do we do bigger? We get uncomfortable. We go to a conference. We get around somebody big. We shadow somebody. We pick up the pace. We see how the big boys and the big girls do it. We exchange. We come to a boot camp. We do something. We go to a retreat. Many of the couples down here, by the way, some of the couples didn't want to come. Some of the wives didn't want to come. Some of the husbands didn't want to. They may get here and go, man, that was good. Like that opened my eyes to some things. If you never place yourself in a position to open your eyes to something bigger, you don't even know what you don't know. Exposure is like enlightenment. See, the word enlighten means to shine light on darkness. It's dark. Somebody shines light on, it's like, whoa, man, I didn't know this. I didn't know this existed. This is incredible. So my third activator of complacency is exposure. So I constantly place myself in and around powerful people. The word power means or source for supplying energy, right? The reason you'd want to be in my coaching program is because you get a weekly source of energy, weekly exposure to new thinking, weekly exposure. Okay. So when you're thinking about this, thank you, Rodney Keith. Your exposure legacy is blazing a trail. That's awesome, man. Thank you for that. Mark Schaefer, good. When you create your new game, how do you give 100% energy to the new game? Here's the deal. One of the things I'm going to teach you, Chris, as part of being around me is a concept called intentional congruence, which is where I'm going to show you how to build systems and divisions and a life and a congruence where you're going in this direction and you have a primary flow, but the primary flow kicks off secondary flows. Like my publishing division is a secondary flow. Monster Funnels, secondary division, right? Monster Retreats, secondary division. These are secondary divisions of the company. The primary core product is Monster Producer, which is what Eric White is posting in there right now. And for those of you not in the coaching program, imagine not getting this one time. Imagine getting in there every week, getting this kind of coaching every week. That is the third activator of the Prey Drive, exposure. You are exposed to somebody doing it big. You're exposed to a new frequency. Now, where your complacency is going to come in is there's going to be a fight. And the fight is between what you want to do and what you're willing to sacrifice to get it. And this is where the rub comes in when I'm pushing people, is that I'm pushing you to get uncomfortable. You're pushing back on me going, I'm good, man. I'm good. I almost get sick to my stomach when people tell me, man, quit pushing me, man. I'm good. You're not good, man. You're lazy. You're complacent. You have a lot of talent. Good to you is being comfortable. You are being judgmental of people that want to do something big. Good to you is everything fits in a box. That's not good, man. I don't know. Somewhere along the way, you fell into believing this. I'm good. You're not good. There's no financial number, I believe. I think financially, if you get to $1 million a year personally, now you're headed in the right direction. I think if you're trying to help a lot of people, not everything is going to be convenience. And that's really what I see in a lot of people. So what is your activator? Is your activator going to be you need a game to play? Is your activator going to be you need to set bigger targets and commit to something bigger? Is your activator going to be I need to get around bigger people doing bigger things to activate my Prey Drive? Now, I'm going to give you 3 mindsets, and then I'm going to challenge you on 1 or 2 things, and then I'll take any questions. I really want to encourage you, if you're in my coaching program or you're just looking at me or finding me for the first time, or I'm activating the drive in you, I want to encourage you to spend the day with me next Thursday on that virtual boot camp. It's the first boot camp I've ever done. It's 10 to 4. Now that I got you motivated and thinking bigger, I got to give you a roadmap and a system to take bigger action. So Eric White's posting it right now. It's Flip the Switch. It's a full day boot camp. It's $57, folks. And your future is worth a whole lot more than $57. Okay. Just trust me on this. So get in the boot camp, sign up for the boot camp. Let me teach you the roadmap, because once I activate the Prey Drive, that's the first step to the system that I'm going to teach you that I've been developing for really 18 years, that I've been teaching these folks down here at my house in Florida. Now we got to go get it. Now we're motivated. Good. How do we go get it? How do we explain our service? How do we work a selling system? How do we follow up appropriately? How do we close people? How do we get referrals? How do we become people of interest? We got to push to something in the future. Okay. So let me give you these mindsets that I have. Thank you, Lori Stock. Let me give you my mindsets. This keeps me out of complacency because I was a basketball coach, and man, I won 74% of the games I coached, but man, I lost some, and the losses hurt, man. I would stay up all night. I would walk the floors. I would bring the team in at 4:30 in the morning. I just, man, I can't tell you how hard those losses. And I learned to hate losing. I learned to hate losing as much as I loved winning. And that taught me a lesson. You could win one night, you could get comfortable, read the newspaper, think you're really good, and lose the next night. And it broke me from being complacent. So here's the mindsets I want you to have as you work with us today. Number one, we go to bed tired and we wake up hungry. Real simple. Just like a lion, just like a cheetah. We go to bed tired, we wake up hungry. In the Bible, God gave them just enough manna for the day. Then they had to start all over again the next day. Just enough food for the day. I don't care how much you have. I don't care how much you have in your bank account. Tell yourself that we go to bed tired and we wake up hungry. Tell yourself this one, it all goes to zero at midnight. Everything goes to zero at midnight. Every client is up for renewal. Every contract has to be renegotiated. It all goes to zero at midnight, right? And the last one is there comes a time when winter asks what you did all spring and summer. Winter is coming, folks, right? Some of you are in businesses where your business is popping. You're making money. Mortgage people are making money hand in fist. Real estate people are still making money in certain markets. There will come a time when that will dry up. And when you have not, when you got complacent, you're like, hey, man, I'm good. I can't tell you how many mortgage people, I'm good, man. We're making so much money. Can't stand it. Right now you are. You got to go to bed tired and wake up hungry, man. You got to tell yourself it all goes to zero at midnight. You got to work the muscle every single freaking day as if you're broke. Do you think Jordan, after winning a championship, the first one said, you know what, I'm good? No. Why did he even want to coach? What did Jordan say on The Last Dance? Never make me play without my coach. Never put me in a position to choose between playing or not playing with my coach, Phil Jackson. That's what Jordan said. If I'm playing, Phil Jackson's coaching. It's that simple. My mindset is I'm broke. No matter how much I got, I'm broke. My mindset is it all went to zero at midnight last night. My mindset is I go to bed tired and I wake up hungry. My mindset is there come a time when winter asks what I did all spring and summer. Your wealth cannot wait. Can't wait till you're 70 to build your wealth. You're 80. You got to build it now. You got to work the muscle today. You have to put the work in. So I want to challenge you. If you're not doing something with me right now, the purpose of today's webinar was to coach you for 45 minutes to 50 minutes, give you a dose of enthusiasm, which means God within, breathe some life into you, which is how you inspire people, motivate you to get going, and give you some of my mindsets. My book, Inside the Mind of a Monster, talks about these things. This is my mindset, man. This is deeply instilled in me. But I really want to encourage you, if you're motivated, I want you to take action on next Thursday's boot camp. It's $57. Spend time with me for a day from 10 to 4. See what I'm talking about. If you got sales teams, this is perfect for your sales team because I'm going to teach the whole selling system next Thursday. I'll start with Pray Drive. I'll move to explanation of service. Thank you, Christy. I'll move to the selling system. I will move to the follow-up. I will move to Acres of Diamonds, referrals, and I will finish with person of interest. So, man, I'm going to be geared up and jacked up and excited to go deliver next Thursday for you. So it is the most cost-effective way for you to spend a day with me on a boot camp. 200 people have already registered for this. If you're out there watching or you've been watching me and you're trying to figure out what I'm about, man, I'm about substance. I'm about integrity. I'm about delivering on what you promise. I'm about over delivering. I'm about when a man asks you to go 1 mile, you go 2. I'm about always over delivering on what you're compensated for. I'm about engagement versus service. I'm about, man, you need a coach in your life. Whether it be me or somebody else, you need somebody in your life activating and reactivating your Pray Drive every single day. Okay. Now, some of you want to come to retreats with me, boot camps with me. You can go to my website, coachburt.com, click on events. Eric White can help you, Eric at coachburt.com. If you're interested in funnels and driving people to your website, we can help you there. If you're interested in writing a book, we can help you there. These are all intentionally congruent businesses that I have that are led by me, and they have my mindset. So let's take action on it. I'll take a few questions here, guys. I got a group, I got 15 couples downstairs waiting on me to come back and coach them. So I can take a few questions. And I just want to thank you, man. Marlon Sanders, thank you for spending. Josh, looking forward to Thursday. Me too. It is a steal, Norbert. Trust me. Get them acres of diamonds. So what questions do you have for me, folks? Questions, comments? What are you going to do? Jessica White said, how do you get clear about what direction you want to go in? Jessica, what I would tell you is you need to read my book, This Ain't No Practice Life. That forces you to think about the direction you want to go in your life. Everybody Needs a Coach in Life is very good for that too. Both of those are free at my website. Get those, get in the coaching program, give it some time to do its work so you can have some clarity, because I will force you through the structures I bring for you to get clarity about what your future looks like. Okay. Any questions? I got time for 2 questions, folks. Love this. So ready for Thursday. Thank you, Faye Horton. It will be recorded. Everything I do is recorded. So thank you, Lori Stye. There you go. Find those missing structures in you folks. Everything will be recorded. So if you can't be there next Tuesday, number one thing I would do, folks, if you got a team, you can either get the team on there or buy a seat to the boot camp and then play that for your team. And that training can last you, could be a year's worth of training in that day. So I want to encourage you, man, dig in with me. All right, guys, is this Zoom available? Yes, we will repost this Zoom out to the marketplace on my YouTube channel. So be looking, go to YouTube, subscribe at Coach Micheal Burt. Boom, when it comes out, there's thousands of hours of video there, but this will go there. It's also on my Facebook page at Micheal Burt. So thank you. God bless you. Everybody needs a coach in life. If you consider me being your coach, man, it's time to go, folks. Time to quit playing. It's time to reactivate that prey drive. You guys are awesome. Have a great day. God bless you.
The difference between big-time people and small-time people is big-time people get scared just like everybody else does. They just don't contract. When I coach big-time people, when they get scared, they do not contract and retreat. What they do is double down. Good coach will have conversations with you that you don't want to have. They'll make you do some things you don't want to do, but they will help you become something you did not think you could become. Do you have a person in your life right now who will have hard conversations with you that you don't want to have? Challenge you to do things you don't want to do. Push you beyond where you currently are. Because if you don't, here's what we do. We contract. We get static. Now, I can't help you until you commit. But once you commit, I'm not going to let you fail. So are you in or out? I challenge people, but I do it in a positive way. What good is it to have skill with no desire? That's body with no heart. What good is it to have heart with no skill? What good is it to have knowledge with no confidence? I tell people, when you work with me, it's not going to be a game changer, it's going to be a life changer.